The wandering yeep. The first time the sky changed color, the yeep didn't know it was a beginning. The clouds simply shimmered in strange hues that morning, and the air felt heavier, as though it carried a whisper that only the oldest trees and the keenest eyes could sense. The world around them, a vast landscape of floating islands, winding paths, and shifting horizons, was familiar, but that day it felt alive in a way the yeep had never felt before. Yeeps did not sleep. They did not blink. They did not walk in the way others might think of walking. Instead, they moved by pressing their arms against the ground and launching themselves forward, gliding and bouncing across terrain that bent and curved in unpredictable ways. Their bodies were soft, plush-like, and filled with something strange called stuffing. This stuffing was not merely material. It was energy, imagination, and the source of all creation in their world. With it, a yeep could build pillows, bridges, gadgets, and even traps, drawing from the vast potential that lay within their own being. Some yeeps used their stuffing to build stable structures that reached toward the sky. Others used it to craft gadgets that propelled them faster, higher, or farther than they ever thought possible. But most simply enjoyed the freedom of movement, the endless possibilities of the landscape that shifted beneath their hands and feet. This particular yeep had never stayed in one place for long. They had wandered across hills and valleys, over bridges built by others, and beneath arches of stone that seemed to appear overnight. While many yeeps gathered in open areas to socialize, experiment with building, and test new gadgets, this yeep preferred the edges of the world, the places where the terrain seemed to bend into new forms, and where the air whispered of hidden secrets. On that day, the shift in the sky felt like a call, a signal that something new was beginning. The yeep paused mid-launch, their soft body hovering a few inches above the ground, and looked toward the horizon. Far off in the distance, one yeep began to glow red, not gently, but with an intensity that seemed to pulse with energy. In the world of yeeps, this glow was a sign that the game of hide and seek had begun. In this mode, one yeep was selected as the seeker. The seeker carried pins, 3 at a time, that they could throw or use to tag other yeeps. Those who were tagged would become seekers themselves, spreading the chase across the map. The goal for the hiders was simple: survive for 5 minutes without losing all their hearts. A pin hit from a distance would remove 1 health point, and a direct hit could eliminate all hearts at once. The yeep felt a thrill run through their stuffing. They didn't hesitate. They pushed their arms against the ground and launched forward, not running, but flying, as their body carried them across the uneven terrain. Behind them, laughter and shouts turned into echoes and then into footsteps as other yeeps began to scatter. Some built walls and towers, hoping to block sight lines or create obstacles. Others used their gadgets, sticky bombs, umbrellas, decoys, to distract seekers or create opportunities for escape. The world was alive with motion, strategy, and creativity. The yeep reached a cliff edge and didn't stop. They began constructing a platform beneath their feet, drawing stuffing outward to form a ramp that arched into the air. The structure was temporary, meant not to hold forever, but to provide just enough support to launch them into the next part of their journey. They climbed it in seconds, jumped, and deployed an umbrella gadget that caught the wind and carried them forward. For a moment, they weren't being chased. They were floating. Below, the terrain stretched out in shifting shapes. Floating platforms, bridges, and structures built by other yeeps formed a patchwork of paths that led in every direction. Some were safe, others were traps, and many were unknown.